This is my audience today for my speech. I'm here today to talk to you about what I call DWI, driving while intoxicated, or distracted driving. I want to start off by sharing you a personal story of a family that I know very well. It's Friday, September 12, 2008, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 18-year-old Jacob Hefter boards a train in Long Beach, headed for Northridge. He's going to meet his girlfriend in Northridge, and they're going to carry on to Palmdale. He's going home to visit his parents for the first time after starting his freshman year in college at Cal State Long Beach. Jacob boards a train, sits down for the long ride into the valley. At about 4:15, he texts his girlfriend to inform her that he's one stop away from the Northridge train station where they'll meet up. Jacob never made it to his girlfriend or the Northridge train station. At about 4:22, the Metrolink train collided with the freight train. 23 people lost their life in that accident. Over 113 people were injured, several of them critically. Investigation shows that the Metrolink engineer was texting while operating the train. He ran a red light and subsequently ended up on a one-way track that the freight train had the right-of-way of. The engineer died as well. Now, I know a train is very, very different than a car, but the fact remains the same. He was texting. And because he was texting, my dear friend lost her son that day. His brother lost his sibling. Her husband lost his son. A family lost their community. A community lost a leader. All because somebody was texting and being very, very distracted. 77% of teens claim that they can text and drive. They can do it safely. They do it all the time. 56% of young adults claim it's easy to text while driving. The fact of the matter is, most teens, when they're not paying attention to the road, about 10% of the time that they're texting and driving, they're actually driving in the wrong lane, driving in the lane next to them, driving in the middle. They justify the behavior by saying that it's easier to read a text and safer to read one. I wasn't texting, I was just reading a text. Or I was just looking at my GPS. Where do teens learn this? Well, they learned it by watching adults, because adults do it. I'm guilty of it myself. 48% of young drivers say that they've seen their parents talk on their cell phone while driving and not using hands-free. 15% say they've actually seen their parents texting while driving. Adults think that they're being quote-unquote safe because they're lengthening the distance between them and the car in front of them. Or they'll justify it saying that they only do it stopping at a red light. Research show that it takes 27 seconds after you've stopped playing with your phone or playing with the radio or taking that bite of cheeseburger. It takes 27 seconds after that for your body, for your mind to get cognitively set back on the road. So even though you're doing it at a stoplight or a stop sign, the light turns green and you're still within that 27-second window. Basically, you're not paying attention. 27 seconds is a really long time. 1 in 5 drivers of all ages confess to surfing the web while driving. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, because 9 people die every day because of this. 1.3 million crashes a year are chalked up to texting and driving. 80% of all crashes are because of distracted driving. So what do I mean by distracted driving? Well, here's a partial list of what counts as distracted driving. Like I mentioned before, using your smartphone or cell phone, including texting or posting to the web, eating and drinking, smoking, attending to a child or disciplining a child or passenger, grooming, reading, including maps or GPS, watching a video, adjusting the radio, changing the CD, playing with the MP3 player, or simply adjusting your temperature controls. All of those things are considered distracted driving. How many times have you looked down at your phone and for a split second and looked back up and it was a close call? You had to slam on your brakes or swerve or, take a deep breath and hope that the car behind you didn't rear end you because you had to stop all of a sudden. Research show, this is startling, 70% of all smartphone users use their phones while driving. They're not texting though. 40% of them are checking into social media. 30% are doing web searches, and 10% video chatting. They're also tweeting, taking snap selfies of themselves, posting to Instagram, looking at Snapchat and posting on Snapchat, and shooting videos while they're driving behind the wheel. All of these things will cause an accident in a split second. Now my question is life really worth it? Is your life worth more than that? Is your passenger's life worth more than that? What about the pedestrian that's walking across the street in a crosswalk that has the right of way? Is their life worth more than that? Or the innocent bystander that's driving on the road in front of you, behind you, or next to you? I want to leave you with one last story. Last winter in Tennessee, it was a snowy morning. There was a school bus full of children, kindergartners. The school bus sideswiped several cars, rolled 3 times, and ended up in a ditch. 5 kindergartners and a teacher's aide were killed in that crash. A few days later, it was revealed that it wasn't because of the snow, but because the driver was texting while he was operating the bus. Unfortunately, that driver took his own life a few days after that because he couldn't handle the guilt of what had happened during the accident. And it's so sad to think about that if he would have just put the phone down, that himself, the teacher's aide, and those 5 children would be alive today. If he had only made a commitment to not text while driving, they would all be here. If that engineer would have only made a commitment of not texting while operating that train, Jacob would be here today. I encourage you to pledge to keep the phone out of your hands and out of your sight, and to keep distracted driving away from the wheel of your car. There's several organizations out there that you can go online and you can pledge that you're not going to text and drive. Jacob Hefter's family has started a foundation called the Jacob Hefter Foundation in his name. On their website, you can visit their website and you can actually pledge to not text and drive. Oprah Winfrey has a major nationwide outreach for the same thing. You can visit Oprah's site for that as well. I encourage you to not text and drive. I encourage you to try not to be distracted. That tweet, that check-in, that status update, whatever, that can all wait. Looking at the text message that you got, it can all wait. It can wait until you're parked safely, not at a red light, not at a stop sign, but parked. Thank you for your time.